Welcome to Dare a New Belief, a place to discover what is possible for your life after the loss of a loved one, and where you will find inspiration, insight, support, and love, and hopefully a bit of laughter to help you through your day. Now, here's your host, Nada Hogan.
Welcome to Dare a New Belief, where you will find light and life, love and joy, healing, faith, and hope. A place where you get to believe in what is possible for your life. And today I have the great honor to be joined with Rhonda Crockett Logue. And Rhonda is a naturally gifted healer who has been helping others for many years. She holds a Master's of Arts degree in social work, and she is certified as an emotion code and body code practitioner, a crystal healer, crystal reader, and spontaneous transformation practitioner. Rhonda previously worked 20 plus years assisting youth and families within the foster care system. And in 2012, Rhonda began her own journey of healing and enlightenment. And she then became aware of her divine talents and gifts. Welcome, Rhonda. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you very much for having me. I'm happy to be here.
Oh, I'm so honored that you're here with me. And I have so many things that I want to talk to you about. So I read your bio, and the main reason, there's many things in there that I'm interested in, but the main reason that I wanted you to come on the show and to share your story is actually sharing your story and sharing your son Jeremy's story. So Jeremy was 18 years old in 2016 when he was unfortunately killed in a car accident. And the coincidences, I mean, the more I looked into your information, Rhonda, it was just like, oh my goodness, because Jeremy's transition was 6/20 of 16 and my daughter's was 6/6 of 08. So it was 8 years. Your son's passing was 8 years after my daughter's passing. And for me, the number 8, I don't know if numbers mean anything to you, but for me, the number 8 is always a sign of infinity. And it's like, well, isn't that just a coincidence? Your son was 18 and my daughter was 18. And I just think that divine guidance just, brings us together. So that will be the crux of what we talk about, because so many, through that tragedy and through the transitioning of your son, and I love the language that you use around your son and his transitioning, that will be the crux of what we are talking about today. So first, I just want to say to you, my heart to your heart, mother to mother, my arms wrapped around you, and much love, because it's the hardest thing ever for a parent to go through.
Oh, yes, definitely.
Yeah.
And numbers are important to me as well. Very significant. Jeremy's favorite number was number 12. So that just always stands out to me. I'm just so noticeable of, when 12 pops up, it's like, oh, okay, Jeremy, what are you trying to tell me?
Right. And that's right. And I forgot about that, because as we were talking, we did a little, because I usually know I shouldn't say usually, but oftentimes I know my guests fairly well. And Rhonda, I don't know you at all. I mean, I know your husband, but if I hadn't had seen your picture, I would not have known who you were. So there was a conversation that you and I had so I could get to know you a little bit better and know what was going on here. And you had shared then that the number 12 was Jeremy's favorite number. And I thought, well, isn't that a funny little coincidence? Because 21 is actually one of my favorite numbers, and 21 is just the reverse of 12. And 12s and 21 show up everywhere in my world. And then it just so happens that Jeremy's favorite number is 12. And it's like, you just get to a point where you know to your bones that there is something very powerful happening in this world, and none of it is by accident or by mistake.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, there's so much going on that we're just not aware of with our earth minds. But I've learned so much since Jeremy's transitioned. about, so much going on within this world. I've been really amazed. I don't think you've shared yet, that I did channel a book.
Yes.
That Jeremy, he provided the information for me, and it's just been an amazing journey. I didn't understand everything that he was sharing with me at the time, as I was putting it down in the book. But as time's gone on since then, it's made a lot of sense to me. So yeah, it's been an interesting journey.
Yes. Oh my goodness. So that's where I would love to start with you. So how did you, because if I understand this correctly, that even as Jeremy was transitioning, that he even contacted you then, that you knew something was going on. Is that correct?
Yes. A year or so before he transitioned, well, I should start back just a little bit before that, when I kind of was going through my healing of myself a few years before that. I learned to listen. I learned to listen to divine guidance, to hear, and I don't consider myself a psychic or anything like that. I just paid attention and I listened. And so about a year before Jeremy transitioned, I could hear Mother Mary. And she was preparing me. She was giving me information, preparing me for a tragic event. And I really thought it was more going to be like an earthquake or, flood or something like that. And so, in fact, it wasn't. It was my son passing. But what her message was to me was that I would lead people. I would reassure everyone that everything's okay. Just to really have strong faith, believe in our Maker, and just to guide people through, the tragic event. So then my son passed, or transitioned, and I knew that's what she was talking about. And I could hear Jeremy right away. He was a bit lost, like I was, and it's not so easy to talk about. But he kept providing me with messages to share with, his siblings and his dad, and just wanted to reassure us that he was fine. And he would say, don't grieve too long for me, because I want you to live your life. And just to let us know he never went anywhere, that he was still here with us. And so, he would continue to share messages. And after a few months after he had transitioned, he said, Mom, I want to share this with more people, to help us to live better lives here on earth, to live more from a heavenly perspective. And I said, Jeremy, I don't know anything about writing a book, and I don't like to write anyways. He said, well, contact Louise Hayes. So anyways, I did, but she was in retirement at that time. So,
wow. So Rhonda, I'm going to interrupt you. Oh, sorry. I'm going to interrupt you for 1 second, because I think I missed that. You said, so Jeremy told you to contact Louise Hay?
Yeah.
I love it. I love that. So, and then after that, I was so busy making sure that I was able to clarify that. I didn't catch what you said after that. So you were able to contact?
Well, I sent her a message, but her staff had said that she was in retirement, so that she couldn't respond. And this was before he even started the book. And they referred me to their author's writing program, which I wasn't really interested in doing that. So I just proceeded to continue to write down what Jeremy shared as we developed the book. And he just, in his book, I know it really was for me, to help me to overcome, all that had happened, so that I could get on with my life and so that I could rise above and, live joyously like we're all supposed to live, and help other people to do the same.
Right.
So in his book, he just really wanted everyone to know that your heavenly loved ones do not go anywhere. They're right there with you. When you quiet your mind, you can hear them. Some people can see them. And he also wanted to help us remember who we are, that we are divine beings. We are here to, live joyous lives, and just really reconnect with that part of us.
Yeah.
So it just turned out to be a beautiful book, and we launched it Thanksgiving Day in 2018.
Oh.
And right before Louise Hay passed, it was maybe a few days before that, Jeremy telling me, he's like, you got to send a copy. It was just a rough draft. You got to send a copy to all, the relatives and to Louise Hay. And I'm like, okay, Jeremy, okay. We had the rough draft created, and then then Louise Hay ended up passing like a day or 2 days before I sent it. I had emailed it out to her. And I'm like, oh,
right.
Okay.
Right.
So,
Oh, bummer. Totally a bummer on that. Absolutely.
yeah.
Oh my goodness.
But I really felt as though it was maybe for her staff, for her, the people that loved her, to help them, as well with Louise's transition.
Right.
So,
Right. Because there's no accidents. And after everything that you had gone through, everything that you've received, all the information from Jeremy, that there are no accidents. So absolutely. I mean, beautiful to be able to help out her staff. And because losing her would have been right. I mean, they had been with her for a long time, and she was just such a powerhouse in the
Right.
transformational world. So yeah, what a beautiful gift that ended up being anyways, and on a grander level than what we could have ever expected. So
Right.
Rhonda, I wanted to ask you, so about Jeremy personally, was he a pretty spiritual young man?
Not to the point where, we went to church or did anything like that, but he had a knowing of certain things that we could not explain. When he was younger, and we were driving to the bus stop, and he was, 5 years old, and we passed a car that had an accident, and he's like, Mom, I can see the lady rising above her car.
Oh, wow.
Okay. And then the person did pass, during the accident. Or when he was younger than that, he was probably about, I think 3 or 4. And he just started doing these spit wads, like little kids do.
Yes.
Just put this paper in your mouth and you spit, and I'm like, where'd you learn that from? And he said his friend Charlie had taught it to him. He had, a spirit friend, an imaginary friend,